Hello guys, welcome back to yet another in-depth review video, and you can also consider it as a long-term review of OnePlus 13R. Like always, we created a community post asking you guys what all topic to be focused more, and we got maximum comments for gaming performance, or you can say general stability. After that, we got maximum votes on battery segment, and in this video we'll cover everything, and it will be a slightly different in-depth review video because I'll be also talking about display, speakers and other stuff. If you guys want us to do such types of reviews, then do let us know in the comment section below. But now, before starting the video, if you guys are new to this channel and if you guys find our content useful to you guys, then make sure to smash the like button and also consider subscribing to our channel. Now, without wasting any more time, let's get started. So here you can see on the table we have OnePlus 13R, and I've used this device as my primary phone. It has got around 2 to 3 OTA updates after the release, which also improved the camera segment. I'll just quickly show you the software information. You can see device is running on the stable version of OxygenOS 15. If I tap on software update section, version is 0.501, which is based on Feb security patch, and if you see the change logs, it has mentioned about the camera improvements. So I'll be talking about the camera segment also. We do have some photos which we clicked after updating the device, and there are few photos which I'll also compare with OnePlus 12R to see whether it's a huge difference between OnePlus 12R or OnePlus 13R camera. Also, if you're planning to buy OnePlus 13, after this video you can easily decide whether you need to buy this device or not. First, let's talk about few things which I did not like, or you can say which are not good on OnePlus 13R. I'll straight away start off with the design itself. See, this time OnePlus 13R comes with this boxy design, and let me tell you, it do hurts when you use the device for longer hours. The edges on OnePlus 13R are quite sharp, and it's not only OnePlus 13R. I'm also using Samsung S25 Ultra. The story is kind of same. Both the devices, these edges are not that curved, they are on the sharper side. And trust me, once you start using the device and if you use it for longer hours, it do hurts and you get those marks on your hand. Side by side, if you take a look at OnePlus 12R, I personally feel in-hand feel is better on OnePlus 12R if you just ignore the curved screen. See, design is personal preference guys, but I can still tell you the edges are slightly on sharper side, and which actually spoils my personal in-hand feel. See, talking about the back, there's this texture present on OnePlus 13R, and trust me, this is one good thing here on OnePlus 13R. It kind of feels like a matte finish and it never attracts fingerprints. That's a good part here, and I've been using this device without the case. Till date, I could not even see a single scratch, and huge thanks to texture present on OnePlus 13R. See, if you're more concerned about the sharper edges, I would say you can just use the OnePlus 13R case which comes inside the box. It improves in-hand feel and gripping a lot. So design, I would say you can ignore if you are planning to buy, because we do get an official case inside the box itself. Now, the second thing which I did not like on OnePlus 13, and that's the placement of fingerprint scanner. OnePlus 12R fingerprint position, if you see, it's slightly towards the top side, and that is something you don't have to look at the fingerprint scanner to unlock your device. Your automatically thumb goes on the same place where we have the fingerprint scanner on OnePlus 12R, unlike OnePlus 13R where you have to look at the device once to find the exact position of fingerprint scanner. Though it's not a major thing guys, you can easily get used to it after using for few months. Then talking about other thing which OnePlus haven't fixed, and this issue is almost present on every OnePlus smartphone running the latest build. That's related to the Chinese text present on the gallery application widgets. So if you see here, if I long press on the photos application, we have the widgets consisting of Chinese text. I think these minor things OnePlus should look into it, though it's not a device specific issue, but yes, it's something which OnePlus needs to look into it. Another major issue is related to Amazon Prime application. It's only with Amazon Prime, not with Netflix application, and let me show you that issue. So for example, if you are playing any video or if you're watching any series and later on you put your device into full screen mode, you can see the place where we have the camera module, that area is completely blacked out. So you cannot play Prime videos in entire full screen. As I told you guys, this is not the case with Netflix. Let me play a video on Netflix and show you guys. So here if you see, if you slightly try to zoom in, doesn't have that black bar. And we also tried changing all the settings to make Prime application work in full screen, but that doesn't happen here. So I think OnePlus needs to look into these two things which can be fixed via a software update. One is this Chinese text. Previously it was available in few more places, but now only with the gallery application. And the second thing is related to Amazon Prime video playback. After that, another minor issue which can be fixed, and it's almost on every OnePlus smartphone including OnePlus 13. That's related to delay in power button. So whenever you press the power button, there's a slight delay. It's not even 1 second, but yes, before it wasn't there, but now that can be easily noticed. So So whenever you try to power off the device or turn off the screen, you'll see a slight delay. So this thing can also be improved with the software update. And again, these three issues are not device specific issues. These are OS related issues. Now let me talk about some of the issues which are related to device itself. And one of them is related to haptic feedback. So I've only noticed on OnePlus 13R. So for example, if I increase the haptic feedback intensity to maximum, and now if I start typing anything, I can slightly hear that haptic feedback sound from the frame, or you can say the device body itself. That's not the case on OnePlus 13. This thing I've only noticed on OnePlus 13R. I'm not sure why is that so, but yes, you can slightly hear the frame sound if the haptic intensity is maxed out. And another thing which cannot be fixed on OnePlus 13R, and that's the charging speed. So we all know this device comes with 6000 mAh of battery, but it's a single cell battery, unlike OnePlus 12R which had dual cell battery, and it only supports 80 watt charging, so charging takes a lot of time. This is the only drawback which I noticed on OnePlus 13R. And now let me show you the charging time, which is actually bad if I compare any of my OnePlus smartphones which I use. So here if you see, I started to charge my device, that time the battery percentage was 1% and the time was 4:30 PM. My device got completely charged, like when I saw the time, it was 6:04, but if you see the notification, the device was completely charged 16 minutes ago. So you can consider 5:48 that time. And if you calculate from 4:30 to 5:48, it took 1 hour and 20 minutes to completely charge from 1%. So this is one of the biggest drawback on OnePlus 13R. Overall, the battery backup is really impressive. We also did a battery drain test between OnePlus 13, 13R and Samsung S25 Ultra. You can find that video on the screen, and I'll also leave the link in the description below. OnePlus 13R always gives me around 7.5 hours to 8 hours of screen on time. You can see here I've used the device without charging for almost 22 hours. Still I had 24% of battery, and the screen on time is 7 hours and 15 minutes with all the basic usage and slight gaming. Overnight battery drain is also not much. You can see here I kept the device idle at 12:30 in the night. That time battery percentage was 62%. When I woke up in the morning at 7-8, that time battery percentage was 61%. Only 1% of battery drain I noticed overnight. Max to max it goes 3%, not more than that. So in terms of battery backup, OnePlus 13R is amongst the best device right now. It also gives better screen on time than OnePlus 13 and Samsung's S25 Ultra. And now let's talk about some of the good things about OnePlus 13R. I'm including performance part in good things itself because there are few improvements which I noticed. But as always, like if you do gaming, OnePlus devices do throttle. So we'll talk about the gaming part at the end of the video. But now talking about the general stability. See, in day-to-day tasks, I personally did not notice any kind of issues with OnePlus 13R. And it also includes things like connectivity. I've tested this device with 2 SIM cards, Airtel and Jio. And even with the mobile data or Wi-Fi connectivity, I never encountered any kind of issues on OnePlus 13R. Everything is great on this device. You consider animation, RAM management or fluidity. But after this latest update, we have noticed slightly they have reduced on the animation part. I'm not sure everyone have observed that thing or not, but I personally felt after this latest update, they might have done some changes, or you can say maybe to increase the battery life. But that's something which I noticed while using OnePlus 13R. But one thing to remember while using the device outdoor, the device gets warmed up quite easily, and I'm completely not blaming the device here itself. But yes, summers can also be responsible for that because it's March now and summers have already started. So whenever I use the device outdoor, it heats up pretty fast. And that do affects the performance part. Animation becomes choppy, slight stutters here and there you'll start noticing. See, another good thing about OnePlus 13R is the display. See, I won't be talking about the specifications, let's come to the general usage part. With no doubt, OnePlus 13R offers an excellent content watching experience with the high brightness. Colors are rich, good HDR support and immersive stereo speakers. I also compared OnePlus 13R with OnePlus 12R, and trust me, sound output is very loud on OnePlus 13R. But when I compared OnePlus 13R with OnePlus 13, the OnePlus 13R lacked bass. But overall, audio experience is really good, so no issues when you're watching content or playing games. The flat panels also improve the gaming experience with no unwanted mistouch. High brightness on OnePlus 13R is 1600 nits. Trust me, I have used this device under direct sunlight and there are no issues reading the content. So for outdoor usage also, it's a good to go device. You consider media consumption outdoor or general usage. The outdoor visibility is really great on OnePlus 13R. And now let's move on to the camera segments, and the photos which I'll be showing you guys all are after the update, in which OnePlus did include camera improvements. So we do have a triple camera setup like before, not going into the specifications. For the camera, I would say OnePlus can still improve OnePlus 13R. Meanwhile, here are the photos which you guys can take a look at. I would say the camera is pretty solid for most of the conditions. In daylight, sharpness and details are on point with colors looking natural. not overboosted. HDR is doing a decent job, especially in tricky lighting, but in backlit selfies, the face sometimes look a bit darker. Indoor shots, especially food and objects, comes out well exposed with good contrast and texture, but glass reflections sometimes mess up the clarity. Portrait mode is quite impressive with a clean edge detection and proper background blur, but in some cases it feels a little aggressive. Night shots are mixed bag. It handles artificial light well, but strong light source sometimes causes overexposure, and details in dark areas could be better. Overall, OnePlus 13R camera setup is quite capable, but the low light tuning and the HDR in certain conditions could use a bit of improvement. And when we compared it with OnePlus 12R, OnePlus 13R seems to have slight improvements. The details and the sharpness are slightly better, especially the building, trees and the text clarity. The dynamic range is handled well with better balance in highlights and shadows, whereas OnePlus 12R sometimes overexposes or underexposes parts of the images. Colors on OnePlus 13R looks more natural and vibrant, while OnePlus 12R occasionally leans towards a warmer tone. Even in moving shots, the OnePlus 13R has better stabilization with less motion blur compared to OnePlus 12R. So overall, if you are planning to upgrade from OnePlus 12R to OnePlus 13R, so let me tell you, there is not a huge difference. OnePlus 12R still does a good job. So if you have OnePlus 12R, I would say do not upgrade to OnePlus 13R if you consider camera segment more. See, while talking about the performance, so this device I would say it has better optimized 8 Gen 3 processor. If you take a look at the benchmark scores, they are quite impressive. With Geek benchmark, single core scores are about 2000 and multi-core scores are about 6500. With Antutu benchmark application, you get somewhere around 19 lakh to 20 lakh scores. With Wildlife's extreme stress test, the stability scores are around 88%. But throttling is always an issue on OnePlus smartphone. The results which I am showing you guys, these are after the latest build. Here maximum CPU throttle 70%, average gips were 4,33,000. See, these are just the benchmark numbers. Now let's talk about actual performance, which includes gaming. So here I tested out two games. One is BGMI, wherein maximum audience we have of BGMI, and the second one is Call of Duty Warzone. And COD Warzone is a game which not every device can handle smoothly. We did notice even OnePlus 13R struggling. But first let's talk about BGMI. Initially we started with few TDMs in BGMI. See, BGMI do have the support of 120 FPS, but you won't get to see 120 FPS until unless you turn on Hyper Response Engine. So if you're not getting 120 FPS, make sure you enable this feature. We tested multiple TDM matches and the gameplay was super smooth, no major lags, no stutters, and the best part was the phone did not even heat up much while playing TDMs. During a TDM session, the maximum temperature we noticed was around 38 degrees Celsius, which means no major frame drops, and average FPS was around 118 frames per second, which was quite stable. And the TDMs which we played, we did screen recording. But the classic matches, we did not include screen recording because we wanted to test out raw performance without additional pressure on the device. We started playing BGMI morning. That time the ambient temperature was somewhere around 18 degrees Celsius. And here the device really performed well. But later on when I tested in afternoon, that time the ambient temperature was somewhere around 29 to 30 degrees Celsius. The phone started to heat up. As expected, the frame drops from 120 to 60 FPS, and OnePlus still haven't fixed this issue. Not sure at what temperature OnePlus has capped the performance, but as the device heats up, frame drops are noticeable. Then we moved on to the Call of Duty Warzone, and here we also did the screen recording. On OnePlus 13R, after playing it for a while, first thing what we noticed, and that was an error in the notification which says out of memory. I'm not sure it's a device specific issue or it's something related to game itself. And trust me guys, this game is a beast, and OnePlus 13R really struggled here. Warzone supports 90 FPS, but the phone heated up very quickly. In no time, the temperature shoots up to 44 degrees Celsius, and the major frame drop started happening, and the average FPS was somewhere around 48 FPS. The phone could not even maintain a stable 60 FPS, which means the Warzone phone is not playable at high settings on this phone. So if you're planning to buy OnePlus 13R, and especially for BGMI, if you are a TDM player, the OnePlus 13R is an excellent. It will provide you smooth gameplay, stable 120 FPS and no heating issues. But for the classic matches, if you play in hotter environment, be ready for frame drops as the FPS drops to 60 once the phone heats up. And I'm not completely blaming the device itself. Now the summers is coming. If you don't use a phone cooler, don't expect good gaming performance on any of OnePlus smartphone. Heat management is still an issue, and without cooling, frame drops and thermals are unavoidable. And now let me take a few questions which you guys have asked us in the community post. We generally do this because nowadays we are not able to do Q&A episodes. So we take questions directly from the community post whenever we post for the review video. So the first question is from YouthTube, who is asking my thoughts about data privacy when it comes to Chinese phone. See, if you are concerned about data privacy, I would say only one thing, that stop using smartphones. That's the only thing which I can say. Then Bharat is asking about Gcam for OnePlus 13R. I'll be testing few Gcams now. And after that, battery technology explanation with comparison of split cell batteries and measuring the highest. See, I cannot measure the voltage because I don't have an gear to measure that, and I don't want to completely rely on the applications present on Play Store. And about the split battery, I'll try to keep it very simple. Just take it like if you have split battery, like 2 cells are there, that will charge fast and the degradation will be slightly lower compared to the single cell. Single cell battery will take more time to charge, like what we see on OnePlus 13R. And if you want to know more about single cell and dual cell, just do a Google search, you'll get more details about it. Because if I start explaining here, it will take a lot of time. Issue is having some issues related to battery drain. See, I personally never had any kind of battery related issues on OnePlus 13. You consider before the update or after the update. Sanjay, I personally don't find any kind of issues here on my OnePlus 13R, like related to Instagram randomly does not play reel. I'm not sure what's wrong with your unit, but on my device, it's perfectly fine. And now talking about the conclusion. See, I'll keep it very simple. If you are the one who's concerned about charging speed, do not buy OnePlus 13R because it takes a lot of time to charge. Second thing which cannot be fixed on OnePlus 13R, that's the fingerprint placement, and design wise, it's subjective. I personally did not like the design. As said, the edges are quite on sharper side. These things cannot be changed. Other than that, general stability and overall package, it's a great device. Camera slight improvements are required, which can be improved with the further updates, but I don't guarantee that OnePlus will make more improvements in that. So don't expect much of camera improvements with the further updates. And for hardcore gamers like who play competitive gaming, I would still say go with an 80 Lite device that will perform a lot better compared to the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 device. So guys, this was our in-depth review, or you can consider long-term review of OnePlus 13R, and I hope I have covered almost everything. The video might be lengthy. I'll try to add timestamp so that you guys can jump to a particular topic which you are more concerned about. And if you liked our video, make sure to subscribe to our channel. As of now, only this much in this video. This is your friend Ashok signing out. See you guys in the next video.